We have one candidate here today. Let's go ahead and invite out Senator Kelli Ward. Kelli, come on out. Go into the middle. That's right. So obviously, as we have one candidate for U.S. Senate here, Senator Kelli Ward, we will not be taking a full hour for her. We'll probably be doing the next 25 minutes or so. And so we also encourage the same rules apply, and we ask you to please come forward, ask questions that are important to you, and we'll turn the time over to you. So please come forward and ask Senator Ward a question. But before we get there, we're going to give her a 60-second opener.
All right. Well, good morning, Maricopa. It's great to be here with you. As I stand up here alone, I find that it is pretty common whenever I'm out talking to people, especially in small towns, that none of my opponents bother to show up. Being from a rural state, West Virginia, and living in rural Arizona in Lake Havasu, I understand that small towns have big voices. So I'm glad to be here with you. I am Dr. Kelli Ward. I'm a military wife. I'm the mom of 3 awesome kids. I'm a family physician who owned my own practice in Lake Havasu for over a decade, and I am a former state senator that was very effective when I was in Phoenix. I got 19 bills signed into law in 1 year, and the only way to do that, the only way to get those results, is to put forth excellent policy ideas that people on both sides of the aisle understand are good for the people they represent. I was able to take those ideas and navigate the swampy process of getting things from the House to the Senate to the governor's desk and take ideas and put them into action. That's what I want to do for you in the United States Senate.
Thank you, Senator Ward. Appreciate it. We will turn the time over to you and also to social media for questions, and we'll start with our first one. Raquel, do you have someone ready to go?
Did Rod have a question?
Yes, sir.
My name's Ken Barrett. I live here in Maricopa. I was just curious, I have big theory questions. Since the Paris climate thing was voluntary pact, what's your feeling about whether the U.S. should go back in or stay out?
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that question. I think it was good for the United States to get out of the Paris Climate Accords because it was designed to basically harm the United States. It didn't do much for controlling pollution and changing the environmental impact that big players like China and India, people in the Middle East, Russia, were having on climate across the United States. So I think that we can focus here in our country on having clean air, clean water, clean soil, so that we can continue to be a leader in the world to make sure that the environment, that the earth, that the place that we live and future generations are going to live for many, many years to come is safe and healthy for all of us.
Thank you. Ready? Oh, right there.
Hi there. Thanks for being here today. I wish your cohorts had come as well. My name is Talitha Martin, mother of 5, Maricopa resident, and also education advocate, public education advocate. My question for you, and I wish I had gotten a chance to ask the last group, has to do with transparency and accountability, because we hear a lot of talk about small government. It's kind of a buzzword. Those of us that have been actively involved in education in Arizona over the last year and beyond have seen the downside to that, which is the removal of transparency and accountability to people who are taking public funds. So we have a lot of people, some even in our state legislature, getting wealthier off of the funds that should be for Arizona's public school children. I feel like it's a problem with the current Republican Party, and I wish it wasn't, that they are grabbing onto this and privatization, small government, but yet dark money is flowing, and we are just weakening those laws on accountability. So I'm interested in your feelings on that, your feelings on the Outlaw Dark Money initiative, your feelings on that mindset that proposes small government but hurts the most vulnerable citizens.
Okay, well, thanks, Talitha, right? Thank you for your question. I appreciate being here. You know, I am the product of two public school teachers. Both my mom and my dad were teachers for the majority of my young life. My mom did eventually go back to medical school when she was 42, and maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more down the road. But I see education as the great equalizer. Education is the thing that levels the playing field for all of us. And I feel very blessed to live in Arizona, where we have a lot of school choice, because one size fits all doesn't work in an educational model. My son did, he started out in a private Christian school, tried his hand at the public high school, and it just wasn't for him. I saw the love of learning leaving him quickly. And so he finished high school online, and I'm very, very thankful that we had that option. I think that making sure that there is great pay for great teachers is imperative. It's imperative so that we in Arizona can recruit great teachers to our state so that our students are able to have that success. I hate to see the dark money playing on either side of the aisle, because there's not just dark money on the Republican side, there's dark money on the Democrat side. There's some dark money that came out today starting attack ads on me because I support the Constitution, I support our right to privacy, I support the Fourth Amendment, and unfortunately the swamp in Washington, D.C. wants to fight that in a way that is misleading to the people. What I urge you, and I urge everybody here to do, is to get involved in the educational process. Attend our school board meetings. Make your voice heard, even if you aren't a parent at this time, even if your kids are grown up and have moved away. Your voice is very, very important to the people who are shaping education policy in our state. And if we start at that local level, and we engage with our teachers, and parents get back involved in the process, we're going to have so much higher likelihood of actually having student success. I would love to see the government back away, especially the federal government, from the education process. Because I know our teachers know which kids are struggling, which kids are even failing, which kids are doing fine, and which kids are excelling. And to think that we have to have the federal government and or the state government come in and question the professionalism of our teachers by bringing in high-pressure, one-size-fits-all standardized testing is a little beyond the pale. So I think we have a lot of room to improve in education, but it's going to take all of us to do it.
So in case my question wasn't clear, what has happened is privatization efforts. There's also been laws that weaken the accountability and transparency. Just this last legislative session, we saw a big vote for that. So I appreciate everything else you said, but are you in support of the current system in place that is weakening accountability and transparency for people